So this is essentially a live recording of our new Quartertone series, which is exploring what music of the Arab world did, does, and might sound like. So this conversation is about these two amazing performances and trying to dive a little deeper into the story behind the songs and trying to understand a little bit behind the thinking behind these things. Okay, so let's start with you, Haig. I'm going to ask a basic question.
Yeah.
What the hell was that big machine? Like, actually take us into that machine. What is inside of that? Walk me through what that is.
I'm still trying to figure it out. I mean, it's coming together. Like, there's been multiple versions of it so far. So this is the first version that's presented like publicly, and it's still, I guess, like it's developing like over the night. So yesterday there was no machine. Today there's a machine. Tomorrow there's gonna be the visuals, and Friday it's gonna be magic, some magician kind of like crazy things happening.
But what's inside of it? Give us, like, peel back the curtain a little bit. What's inside of that thing?
Yeah. Literally, physically, or kind of like the story behind.
Let's start with the story and then tell us physically, actually, like what's going on inside there.
So, I mean, it's kind of like, for me, this project sort of like came together as a way to bridge, you know, a lot of the different things that have been going on like the last like couple of years. A lot of the musical interests, a lot of the artistic and visual and storytelling kind of like interests of things that I wanted to say and do that I didn't have time before to do it, and that I didn't have the I guess the space. So yeah, I guess it's difficult to explain it. I don't know.
Okay.
Ask another question. Maybe like halfway through, I will kind of like get to explain.
Okay. Well, before I wanted to ask both of you something. This is part of like a quick Q&A that we do. If there was a dream collaborator who's no longer with us, so there's no chance of you actually collaborating with them, but a dream collaborator that you would love to work on a project with, either an actual performance or like an album, or write a song together or create something together, who would that collaborator be? I'll start with you, Alsarah. I feel like there's something that's at the tip of your tongue.
Is there? Okay. It's no longer alive?
Or, I mean, you can break the rules. Feel free.
I mean, I would honestly really love to work with Nina Simone.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, you know, if we're gonna go there. Where's my vocal coach? I don't know if he's still here. Jeremiah, are you here? Jeremiah did an album with Nina. But anyways, Nina's got this raw force to her. So does Diamanda Gallus. So does Ima Sumac. So do a lot of these channelers. I would love to work with a channeler. There's something about raw, angry, ugly, hard to digest that I really like.
Yeah. Haig?
Bowie, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. It's maybe these days I'm kind of like with the whole like space and space-time thing. I guess it's generally I've always admired artists who have bridged between different creative disciplines, and I think Bowie, throughout like his career, he's tapped into a lot of those things, from whether it's music, performance art, whether it's films. I feel like he had so many ideas. He wanted to do all of them, and I guess like even like till the last minute he was kind of like on it. So yeah, it's inspiring just to see someone with a brilliant kind of like mind. I mean, there are many people like him who are alive as well, but you're talking about, you're asking to name someone who's not.
Okay. So, Alsarah, I have a question for you. So, the fourth song you played is called Nar, literally fire. And it's this fiery track, right? But how do you feel about listeners in the audience who don't understand the lyrics of a song that is very explicit what you're talking about? And it's funny because you finished that talk and you said populism is your enemy, right? You said capitalism. So capitalism is your enemy, which for you is like a direct, it's a natural transition because you're talking about this. It's a fiery track, it's a revolutionary track, but 90% of the audience, 60% of the audience, 70% of the audience doesn't know exactly the lyrics. What is that experience like? Like, do you feel like you're communicating the revolutionary vibes, even if it's not explicitly understood, the lyrics themselves?
Well, I guess I feel like words are very reductive by their nature.
Sure.
Right? You know, I think anyone who speaks multiple languages understands that words are made to reduce big concepts into little things and little sounds. And so once you start practicing communication outside of the medium of just words, I think you are practicing the idea of talking beyond just a language that is in the words. There is language in our movement, in our sound, in our scent, in our expression of being, really. We are yelling our communication all the time, but we limit our social interactions to just words. Yeah. And that's false narrative. And as someone who's lived in a lot of places where I've had to learn new words, I understand that words are the least important thing in the room, really. So I trust in the power of music, which is why I practice music. I trust in the power that when I do what I'm trying to do with my band, and we are like a bunch of fingers coming together into a fist of communication, that you will catch on. And if you don't, well, whatever, you didn't. Next.
On that note, what does it feel like to be performing again after 2 years of not really being in front of an audience? I know I've been to a show of yours before, since the pandemic sort of has started to wane, but it was an outdoor show. It wasn't a nighttime show. It wasn't in a venue like this. What does it feel like to be in front of an audience again? This goes for both of you. Go for it.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's, to be honest, it's like starting over. It's scary. I didn't expect it to be like this. Also, I mean, it was very different. Like before the pandemic, I was with my band and we're performing to larger crowds. Now it's a lot more intimate. It's a new project that I'm working on. I'm trying things, you know. So it's kind of like there's this, I don't know, this feeling, you know, that you get stage fright when you first start performing, and it's back, and I don't know how to I don't know how to describe it, but part of it is exciting, and it's kind of like, because I'm doing like these little shows like every night during this week. For me, between yesterday and today, and I'm like getting more and more excited, you know, to just continue doing the project and doing the performances. And it's mostly the energy that you get from the audience that's incredible. It's one of those things that I feel like the virtual shows will never be able to, at least like for now, to kind of like mimic, which is the live kind of like interaction, instant gratification, energy that you get from the people who are there in the room, breathing the same air, kind of like vibing with the same rhythms, with the same music. It's just, it's whether you're performing kind of like a sad song, or you're telling a story, or you're just I don't know.
Yeah, you can hear the
party.
Yeah.
So.
No, I feel you.
How about you? I mean, I feel like the experience of having a band on stage as well, performing live without masks, in close proximity, literally dancing next to each other, must feel so different. Does it feel the same way it felt pre-pandemic, or is there some new appreciation that has sort of emerged?
Oh no, there's definitely a new appreciation. Before the pandemic, you know, when you tour with the same people all the time, there comes the same, you know, like, to me, true love is like that family vibe where you look at someone, you're like, oh my God, I would kill anyone who fucks with you, but I also want to kill you.
Yeah. Let me be the first one to kill you.
But if anyone steps first, I will kill them. It's a very clear line. That's family love. That's like being in a band.
Yeah.
You know, and so when you have that long break away from each other, it becomes one of those things that was like, oh my God, are we ever going to get back to that?
Yeah.
And like having I think Haig, you can echo this, you know, being with your band for so long before this weird break. Mm-hmm. You've been with the same people for so long to the point where you hate them, but maybe you don't. But where I hate them, I love you guys. Where and then you love them so much, but you know, like it's like family, y'all. Like, you know, come on, don't lie to yourselves or to me. And then it's just, you take this break, and now I'm just like crying when I see them. I'm so excited. I was like, can I offer you all the chips you like?
Yeah.
I bought potato chips and beer. Come to my house, please. You know, and we're excited to be around each other. I want to like cough on your face. I hope we get germ together and pot together forever, and you never get to leave my house.
That's love.
It's a new weird, gross version of the first thing.
Yeah.
They're all gross.
Let's snap it up for that. Good job.
Brahim was here kind of like helping me sound check, even though he didn't have to. Like, it's just, I was bossing him around. I was like, do that, do this. even though he's not even like doing the show.
I know,
Right?
so good, right?
Yeah.
I want to talk, Alsarah, about Min Ana. It is a really powerful song.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful, beautiful song. For those of you who are in the audience, it's the third song she played.
حكاية حبي لك من الماضي إلى الآن اسمي على لسانك لمعت النجوم في السماء حكاية حبي لك من الماضي إلى الآن مهما تحاول ما بتنسى اللي جاي طريق الأول والقمر حامل بلا أسرار رسايل فايضة للأحباب رسالة سمعتني زي الدجور الممسرة حكاية حبي لك من الماضي إلى الآن الذكريات حبيبي زي النزول المنتمى وساكنك صوت زي النجوم في السماء حكاية حاول ما بتنسى واللي جاي طريق الأول القمر حامل بلا أسرار رسايل فايضة للأحباب
Absolutely beautiful. I'd love to hear a little bit about why and how that song came about, and what it means given the current moment.
So the first 4 songs in our set were all written in 2019, actually, when this revolution that is still continuing in Sudan started. And Min Ana especially is called Who Am I? If I do not wait for you and wait for you to become what you are destined to be, who am I? And it's defining yourself in relationship to a desire, to a destiny, to a people, to a land, to a mission in a way. And then we filmed a music video for it in 2020 in Sudan, and then COVID happened. And it took until the beginning of 2021 to be able to even release the video. And then the same revolution continued, and the song continued to make sense in the moment to me. And it began to really affirm to me that all these songs that I was writing were about a moment that never ended. And to see songs as having this life that's outside of you is really affirmative, because I've never thought of writing songs as writing. It's this thing I do when I'm really quiet and I can listen. I'm listening to it. So when you live in this world, there's so much noise. I don't know if I feel like a lot of us know it, but don't say it to ourselves. You're living in all this sound and all this noise. And when you can manage to be quiet within you, you can hear a lot. And writing music is just about listening. It's not about writing or talking or saying. It's about being quiet. And so when you write songs that can continue to make sense and be quiet continuously after you, that's when they really are the art you're trying to transmit. It's not about you. It's not about the people who made it. It's about a moment in time. It's like sonic history. And you're there to just kind of be like a tunnel. So it comes out. And it's not about, and then anyone else can take it. Anyone else can cover it. Anyone else can do what they need to do to it. It's a person on its own. It can become something else, something gorgeous, something ugly, something mundane, whatever. It's just a baby you gave birth to.
So that's beautiful. I want to talk about Habibi Ta'al and Habibi. So the second song you played and the last song you played, or the song before the encore.
حبيبي تعال نتلم مدام الريد اختلط بالدم مدام الريد اختلط بالدم انا ذنبي ايش يا لون الهم يا حبيبي حبيبي المانجا والتفاح حبيبي عسل والناس مساح حبيبي المانجا والتفاح حبيبي عسل والناس مساح حبيبي عسل والناس مساح أهدر لك عشان ارتاح يا حبيبي حبيبي تعال تعال نتلم مدام الريد اختلط بالدم مدام الريد اختلط بالدم أنا ذنبي ايش يا لون الهم يا حبيبي حستناك أنا في البحر محل الطير هذا الرحل حستناك أنا في البحر محل الطير هذا الرحل محل الطير هذا الرحل انت من هنا ولا من زحل يا حبيبي حبيبي تعال تعال نتلم مدام الريد اختلط بالدم مدام الريد اختلط بالدم انا ذنبي ايش يا لون الهم يا حبيبي حستناك انا في الكوبري وضاحي ليك انا بعمري وبستناك انا في الكوبري اضاحي ليك انا بعمري وضاحي ليك انا بعمري عشان وحيد سحبوا مني ويا حبيبي
There was this like moment in this set where you started talking about traditional music. You said, "Okay, khalas, now we're going to start talking about traditional. Now we're going to start playing traditional songs." However, I feel like the songs that you, and I'll use the verb wrote, even though you just talked about that you don't feel like that's really appropriate. I feel like you are in the practice of writing traditional songs.
I'm so honored you said that because that is what I want to do.
Yeah. So I feel like Habibi is like a remix of Habibi Ta'al,
Totally.
right?
1,000,000,000%.
Okay, so talk about this because this is what I was picking up. I was like, this is part 2, like the remix,
Completely.
baby.
All I am here is to remake shit that was made before me.
Absolutely.
I'm not inventing the wheel. I am just kind of like polishing it, maybe a little bit, maybe putting blue paint or yellow paint or whatever. Like we're not doing anything new.
So, as like if I was in your band, walk me through the first jam session. You come into the room and you say, "Guys, I've just uncovered. I have channeled a song. All right, I've channeled Habibi." Walk me through that first jam session. Who does the bass player start making up something?
Yes,
Yeah.
Moena's often in charge of laying the floor down.
Okay, cool. So
Then Rami's in charge of putting the walls around it. And Brandon's in charge of making the colors happen. And I'm in charge of opening up the roof so sunlight comes in. We're building a house.
beautiful.
And when the sun, you know exactly where you want the sunlight to hit. So sometimes you set up all the different people in the house in a certain way so the angles come right.
Correct.
And that's part of my job too. And my sister's job is to make sure that all the decorations are hanging in the right place. So they work together with the sound. It's really like a group effort in that sense. Writing out of a tradition isn't an intentional practice. Again, it's about being grounded in where you come from. Every musician writes from a tradition.
Correct.
There is no musician in the world that just creates in a vacuum. Because we're human, and humans don't exist in a vacuum. We exist in the worlds we came from, the worlds we want to lean into, and the things we want to aspire towards. So it's a cohesive practice, really. This whole idea that you create in tradition as something being only exclusive to the global south is kind of a colonial concept, because it puts tradition as a global south thing when it's really an everybody thing.
Yeah, it's objectifying.
Yeah, it's everybody. Everybody has tradition. If you don't remember it, I'm so sorry for you. You seem lost. I recommend therapy and history lessons. History is your friend.
Okay. Amen. have one last question. I feel like every song, every performance turns into a dance number, right?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Question. Could you imagine, I guess, when you guys perform it, when you practice it, is it similar? Is there always the dance break, basically?
Yeah, I don't sing sitting. I only sing standing, and if I'm not moving, then the song sucks. I have scrapped songs I've written because I'm like, this song sucks. I can't dance to it.
Yeah.
Even a slow song, you know, like I wanted to step with my drink. I'm down for that.
Yeah.
To step on, no?
Yeah.
You guys know this?
Cue every Boys to Men song ever.
What?
Cue every Boys to Men song ever.
Always.
Yeah.
Also, every trap song after that.
Yeah.
My drink, I'm at to step. My drink, I'm at to step.
Okay.
Too black for this room? Okay. Yeah, you get it.
The last plug I'll make on the comment of remixes is that for those of you in the audience, I highly recommend. One of my favorite things about Alsarah's entire catalog is that every album has a companion remix album.
Yes.
Which you and I talked about.
Along with the DJ.
Exactly. You and I talked about this in our last conversation. But if you can just talk a little bit more about the value of the remix and why you celebrate it very explicitly. With every album, you say there is a companion remix album that you don't really have much to do with. So talk a little bit about why you think that's so important.
Well, it's so important because it's again about celebrating the life of the song outside of you as the writer and the creator. Being able to hand it over to people whose work you already love and respect, that's in another realm, outside of the realm you've been allocated to due to industry standards, capitalism, you know, colonialism, all the weird niche shit about like where a world belongs, where this belongs, where whatever bullshit belongs, whatever. You know, having acts and DJs, to me, DJs are living current day musicologists. They're out there sampling things, they're out there exploring things, and they are the most musically adventurous people you will find in the music realm. Even more adventurous than musicians. And they're ready to receive and seek it. And a lot of them have so much to give back. And so finding a producer, DJ, that hears your sound and wants to take it on and bring on a new life, that's like somebody wanting to cover your music. That's exactly how longevity happens. Why wouldn't you want that? Don't you want immortality? I do, because I'm vain like that.
Yeah. Well, this has been a really unforgettable evening. Thank you so much to both of you. This was really fantastic. I hope you guys are coming tomorrow to and the next day we have 2 amazing more nights of Habibi Fest. This conversation will go up on the Africa podcast series and YouTube. If you don't already know about them, check them out. And thank you so much for coming. Enjoy the rest of your night. Grab a drink. Thank you guys.